Hi, I'm Larry with 121 Motorsports. If you're watching this video, you probably inquired about a CarFax for our Mazda Miata. I'm going to go through the CarFax. Not everybody's familiar with them. If you are, you don't have to watch the video, but it may be helpful. So let's check it out. It's a 2000 Mazda Miata. It's got, just right away when you look at the CarFax, you automatically see that it has an accident report, which I'll go over as we go through it. I'll just go page by page. So this first page just kind of, it puts the bad stuff right out in front of you so you can see it. So anyway, we'll move right along. And then the second page shows several things. It has total loss. There's none of these are on this car. Like, there's no structure damage, there's no airbag deployment, there's no odometer rollback. There are a couple of accidents. There's actually two. Actually, the dates are about 4 years apart. I'll go over that with you. There's no open recalls, and all the warranties expired. This is what CarFax is really good for, is like branded titles, like a salvage or junk title. You would not be able to register that in any state in the country. It's they were basically sold for parts, or if they are sold that way, then they have to be inspected to get a rebuilt title. Most rebuilt titles are cars that have been refurbished. They were insurance. They usually were an insurance total, and then somebody's refurbished them, had them inspected by their state, and those titles are like, you can put plates on those. You can register them. Fire, flood, and hail. Hail's obviously that's not going to affect the way the car drives, but I've never seen a hail on the title, but who knows, they probably are out there. A lemon title is basically a manufacturer buyback that the manufacturer had to buy the car back because of problems. They're usually titled as a manufacturer buyback. Some states may title them as a lemon, but usually that issue has been repaired, but those will affect the value of the car, and so will a rebuilt title, obviously. And then salvage or junk, if you pull up one that says salvage or junk, just realize you're not going to be able to register it unless you get it rebuilt. And then the next page on this particular one, it has the owners. Now, one thing about owners on the CarFax, if the car is titled in the same person's name more than once, they count it as an owner. So basically, it's more of a title thing. So you kind of got to look at the transactions through there to try to kind of guess. So I'll move on here. So this is the first owner. The car was sold originally at Bill Jacobs when it was new, and then it just have some light maintenance records, and then they'll have the mileage here, and then here's a registration here. And there's probably plate renewal. It was all through in Chicago. These are all just regular things you'll see on a CarFax. As you notice, the mileage continually goes up, as it should. So the same thing on this is it just goes down, and then it looks like it maybe was traded in here in 2016, and then it was sold. It was in McKenna, Illinois. And so this would probably be the second owner, and it looks like it was mostly in Illinois, and then it had a minor accident reported to the right rear corner, and I'll go over that area with you right now. Here's the thing about these damage reports. They're not done by, well, sometimes they are, but they'll say they're from like a body shop or wherever, but these are done by police officers, stuff like that. So they got other stuff going on. So it's kind of a guesstimate, like when it says minor, moderate, or severe, it's someone's opinion of that damage. So anyway, I'll take a look at the area that it says. It's the passenger side right rear corner, and we'll just take a quick look so you can kind of get a feel for it. So from the standpoint of it, I've been in the car business for 30 years, so I look for paint work, and I can usually spot it. I don't see any paint work here. There is just a small little dent right in here. This could very well be the damage that they're talking about. It may have busted this and just buckled that, and then the person who owned it probably said, that doesn't really bother me, I'll just leave it alone. So then if it were me, I would be looking for structure damage. If there's any structure damage, I don't see any structure damage. And then I would, here, let me get a flashlight. So then I would look inside, luckily there's a little panel here, and I can kind of look inside there, and that all looks good. And like it's all crumpled up in there, and then somebody just bondoed the, living daylights out of it. So as far as this first little accident that it's showing, I don't know the level of it, but I'm gonna guess it was minor, and I'm gonna guess it maybe was, maybe busted taillight and move on. But I don't know that for sure. Don't take my word for it. You just need to make your own opinion on it. So then the car continues, the mileage keeps going up, which is how it should be. And then in this same person, they have an accident involved in a rear end collision, damage to left side, airbag not deployed. So they're saying this damage was moderate. Let's see where it says. It's looks like showing right here in the door area where I'm standing. So if I was buying this car, me personally, and I saw that on the CarFax, I'd look this door over, obviously. There's a little spot there. So I don't know if that, you never know what that was. That looks like something was inside the door when it opened or something. But the gap on the door looks okay. Let's match it up to the other side. The gap on the door looks similar on both sides. So then what I would look for, I would open the door, I'd look at the bottom of the door. Okay, it doesn't look, I'm not seeing anything that looks out of the ordinary. I guess it just depends upon how severe it was. They may have replaced the door, but if they did really good paint work, because this is kind of a rare, unique color. Inside the jamb, it looks good. It's not buckled here. It's, there's nothing indicates any structure damage. And then when I look underneath, it's not pushed in. Floor pan's not been pushed in. So in my opinion, that was probably minor too. So granted, I'm selling it, so just take it for a, grain of salt. I'm guessing it's been painted on. If it was dented, it almost had to be painted on. But I mean, the paint looks good. I don't see any sand marks. I don't see anything that throws me off it. So, my opinion, the two accidents that are showing are minor. CarFax sells fear a little bit. They show these commercials that show a car that's completely smashed up, like they're all that way, and they're not all that way. And the ones they show in their commercial, in all reality, if that was a real accident, that car would be totaled. It wouldn't even be able to. It would be a rebuilt title or something to that effect. But anyway, so for this aspect of the car, I've sold this car twice. I actually sold it. I sold it in, or I haven't sold it twice. I sold it once back in 22 to a local person that spent half her time we're in Illinois, spent half their time in Florida. And it was just garage kept here, and she drove it here when she was here. And then she, got to be where she didn't really drive it anymore. So we actually bought it back from her. So it's a unique color, it's a unique interior. Unfortunately, it shows a couple accidents on it, but I've been doing this a long time, and you'll find a lot of cars that do not have accident reports on them, and it's obvious that they've been in an accident. So anyway, take it all with a grain of salt. If it bothers you, fine. If it doesn't, fine. I just thought it would be helpful to go through that, and then the rest of the CarFax is just kind of explaining, of course, I can't turn the page, but first owner, it describes how they come up with the descriptions. And then the cars will have a CarFax guarantee, which I believe probably amounts to nothing. So I hope that's helpful. If you got any questions, give me a call. Thanks for taking a look.